Hello, how are you? Today I'm going to tell you about a wonderful combination for your health, which is chamomile tea with fennel. Of course, many people will think of sleep, but this tea also has very interesting effects on blood sugar, on inflammation. You'll love it, including for digestion. I'm going to explain everything here and how to make it, because there's a very important trick for you to be able to get even more benefits. Stay until the end. You won't want to miss it. I'll even explain why right after dinner is the best time for you to drink this tea. And as I told you, there's a right way to make it so you can get all the benefits and not just end up drinking flavored warm water. And there's another very important detail also, to prevent a problem that affects many people who drink beverages late at night, so you're going to love this video. I want to know from you, how have your nights been? Have you been able to sleep well? Do you wake up during the night or not? Tell me down below in the comments if you wake up once, twice, or more times during the night. How's your digestion as well? Do you wake up feeling good, or during the night do you still feel really bloated, like the food is just sitting there? I would love to see your comment, because this tea can help you with all of that. And while you're at it, leave a like on the video. That's really important to me. It shows YouTube that you support the channel and trust my content. And by doing that, you help this video here get distributed and reach more people who need this tip. Let's start with the benefit that I think everyone already associates with this mix, which is precisely the improvement of sleep. A lot of people think that sleep is only related to the brain, but obviously it's connected to the whole body. For us to be able to enter that deep sleep, the brain needs to slow down and the whole body needs to relax. And that's where chamomile comes in, with apigenin, which is a flavonoid naturally present in it, that binds to the GABA-A receptors in our brain. And GABA is the main calming neurotransmitter of the central nervous system that we have. So, it works like a physiological brake, reducing the excitability of neurons and making it easier to transition from an agitated state to a state of rest. We need this to happen to be a restorative sleep. Apigenin is not a strong chemical sedative. It doesn't cause dependence and it doesn't knock you out. It just gently modulates the nervous system, supporting the natural functioning of this relaxation mechanism. Fennel is also interesting because it works in another way. It contains anethol, which is a compound that relaxes smooth muscle, especially in the gastrointestinal tract. I'll talk more about this for you later. So many times you can't sleep because you're holding on to that bodily tension, with your muscles more stiffened. And sometimes this tension is silent. You don't even realize you're like that. And you might have microdigestive spasms, abdominal bloating, and this keeps our brain on alert. So this synergy, this combined benefit happens because chamomile calms the mind and fennel helps to calm the body. So this helps signal to the parasympathetic system that you can relax. I have a video here talking about how to fall asleep quickly in up to 3 minutes for people who have trouble sleeping. It's precisely about how to improve the body and mind and enter a more relaxed state. This video is really great, and I'll leave it down below in the description for you. Another detail, a very interesting benefit that people don't know about, is that this mixture can also help you with nighttime glucose. This is a point that few people talk about, because during the night, our liver releases natural glucose to keep the brain functioning. So if you have a dinner that's very rich in carbohydrates, or if your insulin sensitivity isn't ideal, there can be some glycemic fluctuations. So when glucose drops or spikes too much, the body releases cortisol to compensate. It's as if the body goes into stress. And high cortisol at night is one of the main reasons people wake up 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, which is exactly the period when this drop usually happens after dinner. So chamomile can help you because of its antioxidant action, which is very important, as it helps protect the pancreas cells against oxidative stress. And some experimental studies suggest that it may help improve insulin sensitivity in a complementary way. Obviously, this does not replace medical treatment, nor does it replace dietary changes or follow up with a nutritionist, but it helps create a very favorable metabolic environment, which, when combined with a balanced diet and good habits, helps keep blood sugar more stable. Fennel, on the other hand, can help improve the digestive efficiency of carbohydrates, and we also know that it acts preventing excessive fermentation. And the less fermentation there is in the intestine, the less production of inflammatory byproducts and less inappropriate metabolic stimulation. And there's still an additional benefit. Fennel has that naturally sweet flavor, and along with chamomile, many people report that drinking this tea after dinner kills their craving for dessert. So reducing sugar intake at night obviously will directly contribute to better glycemic control. And the better the glycemic control, the less compensatory cortisol spikes, as I mentioned. So with that, you get deeper, more restorative sleep and less craving for sweets. It ends up helping in a very interesting way. A benefit that we often associate with fennel, but that chamomile can also help with, is the digestion of gases and the reduction of abdominal bloating and discomfort. There are people who sometimes pass gas during sleep. They feel discomfort in their belly at night, or even wake up more bloated with a more swollen belly. Fennel is one of the most classic carminative herbs that we have. It helps expel gases, and as I mentioned, it reduces the fermentation that occurs in your intestines after a meal. So this reduces abdominal distension and lowers that intra-abdominal pressure that can interfere with sleep, causing discomfort. Chamomile helps because it has an anti-inflammatory effect on the gastric mucosa. And compounds like azulene and bisabolol help reduce inflammation and that feeling of heaviness, even burning after dinner. It also helps to soothe the stomach. Now, an important point. Many people wake up bloated not because of gas, but due to fluid retention, which is associated with too much sodium, excessive liver overload, and a lot of ultra-processed foods at dinner. Because during sleep, the lymphatic system, we know it needs to work intensely. And fennel can help because it has a mild diuretic effect. It helps the kidneys filter out retained fluids, and chamomile helps by reducing microinflammation. So, this synergy also works as a kind of nighttime cleanse, so to speak, and can help even if in a milder way, but it can help in these cases of swelling due to fluid retention. Another interesting detail about drinking this tea before bed and helping you with sleep is the regulation of body temperature. In order to sleep, our body needs to lower its core temperature. And when we drink a warm liquid, there is peripheral vasodilation. Our hands and feet get slightly warmer, which allows the core of our body to lose heat, and this cooling stimulates the production of melatonin. In other words, this warm tea also physiologically helps the body enter a state that is more conducive to a good night's sleep. And in addition, these anti-inflammatory compounds in chamomile act on certain pathways such as COX-2, reducing mild systemic irritation and helping in the process of decreasing inflammation that can occur throughout our day. It's also worth mentioning the issue of modulating cortisol and nighttime anxiety because many people, when they lie down to sleep, can't fall asleep because they feel more restless, anxious, and so on. And this is very much related once again to cortisol secretion, which we know is linked to stress. When this cortisol rises at the wrong time, it competes with melatonin, which is the hormone associated with sleep. So, chamomile has scientific evidence suggesting it provides good modulation of this axis, helping to reduce the hyperactivity associated with stress and improve the secretion of melatonin as well. And fennel complements this effect by reducing peripheral manifestations of tension, as I mentioned, such as abdominal agitation and bodily discomfort. So it helps you feel calmer so you can sleep better. So let's talk about how to prepare this wonderful blend. You're interested and want to make it, but there are people who do it the wrong way. Because if you take fennel seeds and mix them with chamomile flowers and pour boiling water over them, you won't be able to extract everything you need because fennel seeds are hard. So an interesting point is to use it lightly crushed with a mortar and pestle or with a spoon. Just give the fennel seed a little crush to break the shell. In terms of proportion, ideally you should use 1 teaspoon of fennel seeds and 1 tablespoon or half a tablespoon of chamomile flowers. You can use more because it has a larger volume. Ideally, you should use the actual chamomile flower because the apigenin is concentrated in the yellow center. So depending on whether it's that tea bag, the low quality kind, often it just has a bit of stem powder and a low concentration of active compounds. So to be safe, look for chamomile tea bags where you can actually see the flowers inside. Then you use a cup of boiling water, cover it and wait about 5 minutes for the extraction to happen and don't add any sweetener. This tea is naturally quite sweet due to the smoothness of chamomile and the sweet of fennel, so there's no need to sweeten it. When we add sweetener, it can actually interfere with that issue of glycemic fluctuations I mentioned, and it can also negatively affect that aspect as well, increase your appetite and hunger. So that's an interesting point. As for the timing, ideally you should drink it right after dinner. That way, you'll have more time to absorb these compounds so they can enter your bloodstream and become available to your body, right? So they can be used in the pathways that need them. And so you can urinate before going to bed. Some people say, I want to sleep better, and they drink this tea and go to bed. But you'll definitely wake up at night to urinate since it's a large amount of liquid. So ideally, you should drink it right after dinner to get all the benefits without affecting your sleep. Besides that, there's also the question of how they can help with digestion and even blood sugar itself. Drinking it right after dinner makes perfect sense. Also because of this metabolic aspect. I want to know from you, do you have the habit of drinking tea close to dinner? Why do you drink it? For the taste itself, or is it for some benefit? I would love to see your comment. Remember to like the video, it really helps me, and share it with those you think will enjoy it and those who need it. Let's work together to expand this chain of kindness. That's what I want here with the channel. See you next time. Bye.